Now, live from East Tennessee's first television station, this is 6 News at 6.
I can say I have been happy to be your coach.
A landmark transition for the University of Tennessee. Lady Vols head coach Pat Summitt passes her whistle to a longtime assistant.
I made a choice early in my career to challenge myself to step up my game each and every day. I need you right now, I want you to listen to this, to step up more than ever to support our new head coach, Holly Warlick.
And now Summitt looks to a new role as head coach emeritus.
I can promise you, ladies, I'm here for you.
Tonight, 6 News brings you team coverage. Summitt, the end of an era. Good evening, I'm Lori Tucker.
And I'm Kristen Farley. Many had expected this move since last year when Pat Summitt came forward with her Alzheimer's diagnosis.
Summitt today handing over that whistle and the program she built into a national powerhouse.
Sports Director Jim Wogan was at today's news conference. He joins us now live from Thompson Bowling Arena with more. Jim?
Kristen and Lori, officially this transfer of power takes place on April 30th. That's when the new contracts for Holly Warlick and Pat Summitt go into effect. But for all intents and purposes, Athletics Director Dave Hart told me this transfer of power actually takes place today in many different ways. After 38 seasons as head coach, Pat Summitt steps aside on the court that bears her name and taking over now former assistant coach Holly Warlick. Holly's accomplished this already in her career at Tennessee. High over the court here at Thompson Bowling Arena, a banner that bears her name and her number from her playing days. 27 years as an assistant coach, 4 years as a player here with Tennessee. This day doesn't come as a complete surprise for the folks who've been watching the progress of what's been going on regarding this story. I asked the legendary head coach when she knew it was time to finally step aside.
I guess, Jim, I just felt like that it was time for me to step down, knowing that Holly was going to be in great hands. She's a great coach, and, you know, I'm going to continue to support her. But, you know, it's never a good time, but you have to find the time that you think is the right time, and that is now.
How much did you want this? How much did you expect this? What were your thoughts, I guess, the past few weeks?
Jim, I've always wanted to be here, and I've made no bones about it. Pat and I have talked about it. This is where I've always wanted to be, and so it was an easy choice for me. It was an easy choice for me, and having Pat by my side and continuing to work, that's just a bonus. So excited to get going.
When she called, Tyler was on the phone with her when they called me, and Tyler said, Mr. Hart, I'm here with my mom, and she's made her decision. Pretty emotional.
Literally with tears in his eyes, Dave Hart said the decision was Pat Summitt's and Pat Summitt's alone. The decision to hire the new head coach and make that coach Holly Warlick was his decision, and he completely stands by Holly Warlick as the new head coach of the Lady Vols basketball team. So for the first time since 1974, someone new is in charge of the Tennessee Lady Vols basketball program as Pat Summitt steps aside and Holly Warlick takes control. For now, live inside Thompson Bowling Arena, Jim Wogan, 6 Sports.
All right, thanks, Jim. Well, today's news conference brought out a host of familiar faces paying tribute to Pat. Chancellor Jimmy Cheek and UT Athletics Director Dave Hart were on stage. In the audience, more UT leaders like Women's Athletics Director Joan Cronin, plus men's basketball coach Conzo Martin and football coach Derek Dooley. Dooley spoke after practice today about Summitt.
She transcends. She's not just women's basketball. She's an icon for any sport. I think celebrating the success she had is there, and I called her yesterday and told her how happy I was that she's still with us, you know, that she didn't step down completely. So just an amazing person, and her impact will last forever, not just on the people that she coached, but all the people in athletics as a whole.
And take a look at this. The famous rock on UT's campus today reads, Pat Summitt, Vol for Life, an outpouring of love for the head coach emeritus from the Vol Nation. There were a number of fans in the stands at Thompson Bowling Arena for today's news conference. Let's go back down to campus where 6 News reporter Mona Nair continues our team coverage. Mona, you talked with some Lady Vol fans this afternoon.
Yeah, Lori, it was so emotional here today. It was hard to be in here and not get choked up. And when Pat Summitt handed over her whistle, fans had tears streaming down their eyes. Here are some of them.
We have experienced the absolute golden age of that. Yeah. And are so glad we did. You know, and hope it'll continue.
But this is Pat's basketball players since 1997, 98. And I have most of her first year players on this. The day of the 1,000 stories, I got most of them to sign it. So it is a treasure chest of greats from the University of Tennessee, coached by Pat Summitt.
And watched them in the wins and the losses, and we've been at Final Fours, and you know, it's just so much a part of you. It's life.
And they say they're excited to see what Holly Warlick does as the new coach, and they're also excited to hear that Pat Summitt intends to remain active on campus. Reporting live outside Thompson Bowling Arena, Mona Nair, 6 News.
All right, Mona, you know, we also learned today that Pat Summitt will be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It is the nation's highest civilian honor, awarded to those who've made special contributions to cultural or significant public or private endeavors. Other winners of the medal in the past years include Rosa Parks, Maya Angelou, Yo-Yo Ma, and Pope John Paul II.
Well, we are going to have much more on Pat Summitt ahead in sports, and details on her son Tyler Summitt, who now heads off to a coaching role of his own. And you can also catch much more of our coverage on our website, WATE.com.
New developments to bring you tonight in a developing story we told you about at 5:30. The TBI telling us right now an officer-involved shooting in Scott County began with a pursuit. It all took place on Copperhead Lane. The TBI tells us that pursuit ended with a deputy injured and one suspect shot. We don't know the extent of injuries to either. We do know both are being taken to the hospital. We will keep following this story, of course, and bring you the very latest tonight at 11. And tonight we're hearing about the potential for much more fallout from the downfall of ex-judge Richard Baumgartner.
His addiction to pain pills means a number of people convicted in his courtroom will now get new trials.
That includes the 4 defendants in the Christian Newsom murders and most recently a man convicted in the death of a toddler. New at 6 tonight, 6 News reporter Jessa Lewis is talking with Knox County's District Attorney General about what's next.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of guilty pleas accepted in Baumgartner's courtroom could face retrial.
Literally, I could be talking about 1,000 cases. So it is very, very serious. Not only in the manpower that it will take, the expense that the taxpayers will have to bear.
As for the defendants who entered a guilty plea before the judge but not a jury,
guilty pleas are done by a very strict set of questions and answers. The judge does a lot to guarantee someone's rights. So, 44 trials, but there are hundreds, if not maybe over 1,000 guilty pleas taken during this time period.
Witnesses would have to be called back.
I think any witness that took part in that, subpoenaed or not, would be more than willing to come back and testify. Now, will they testify to exactly the same thing? Well, the defense attorneys change their strategy. Will the prosecutors change their strategy? That's what happens in a retrial sometimes. It doesn't get tried exactly the same.
District Attorney Nichols says he's still trying to appeal for a hearing on the matter.
If we could get a hearing and a court would speak, then it would at least bring clarity to the situation. Am I going to have to retry them? If so, let's go on with it.
But he says these convictions and pleas are legal.
I believe the law supports the validity of these convictions. That's what I believe. And I intend to argue that until my last breath.
In Knoxville, Jessa Lewis, 6 News.
Now, DA Nichols has until May 14th to file an appeal in this case.
The Knox County Election Commission will ask a judge to decide whether a State House candidate should even be on the ballot. The issue is whether Shelley Breeding lives in Knox County. Now, she's running for the new District 89 seat, but according to maps forwarded by state and county election officials, Breeding's house sits just outside the Knox County line. The Election Commission met today to determine Breeding's eligibility. Breeding insists that she is a resident of Knox County and should be able to run. Breeding is challenging the accuracy of the mapping system. Also, she says where she serves jury duty and where her cars are registered, all in Knox County, should make a difference.
It's sad because it puts off the campaign, but it's also sad because it costs taxpayers thousands of dollars to go through a lawsuit that Knox County doesn't need. We've had enough lawsuits in Knox County.
Breeding is the only candidate in the District 89 race, the only Democratic candidate. The case will be heard, by the way, in Chancery Court.
Unemployment in Tennessee is down once again. The March jobless rate came in at 7.9%. It's down just a little from 8% in February. It's the 8th straight monthly decline and the lowest rate since November 2008. Well, last year was less than stellar for the number of visits to the Smokies.
But park officials say tourists, well, they're coming back. We're going to have a look at the new record-breaking month the park just experienced. Plus,
I'm Don Dare, a family-style restaurant with a health inspection grade that will make you cringe. Plus, there are 2 perfect scoring restaurants this week. Food for thought is coming up.
And we've got a beautiful evening on tap. Temperature still in the 70s now, but we'll drop in the low 50s in the morning. A little bit of spotty fog, not as widespread as this morning. An updated weekend forecast is just minutes away. Whole different ball game out there today. 61 was the high yesterday. Today 73 with more sunshine this afternoon. Felt great. A few clouds mixed with the sunshine. This is the view up toward the Park Vista Hotel from the top of Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies in Gatlinburg. Partly cloudy over the mountains, mostly clear in a good part of the viewing area right now. And most areas are going to be dry tomorrow. We're going to hold on to a very small chance for a late day shower. We're not going to have the wet weekend washout type thing, but we are expecting cooler air by the time we get to the end of the weekend. 73 right now, that's our high so far for the day. 74 in the Tri-Cities, not usual, not uncommon, but sometimes 74 in the Tri-Cities, warmer temperatures to the north and east. How about that? 75 in Middlesboro. So we've got 71 in Newport, 72 in Gatlinburg at this hour. Took a while, but these clouds finally moved out. You can see the sunshine most of the day along the plateau. Notice a few clouds right over the mountains, right near Gatlinburg, as we just showed you live on the camera there. We do have a mostly clear to partly cloudy sky across East Tennessee, depending on where you're located. 73 right now. By the time we get to midnight, it should be about 58 with a starry sky overhead. And then tomorrow should start with some sunshine. 53 with spotty fog. It won't be nearly as widespread as it was this morning for many of you. And by the afternoon tomorrow, we're headed up to 74. Mainly dry. We're going to hold on to about a 15 to 20% of chance for an isolated late day thunder shower, mainly toward the mountains. But that high pressure is building in. That means those clear skies will be with us a good part of the night. And that should help a little bit of fog to develop. Here we are by midnight. Early in the morning, 6 timeline does have a few thin clouds around and some patchy fog. And this looks mostly cloudy, but I think it's going to be those type of clouds where you're seeing thin enough where we can see the sun through them. And by late in the day, notice how we don't see any precipitation returns? So that's why we're thinking about 15 to 20% chance of maybe a shower popping up over the mountains. Better chances come now. This is Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. Watch how this system weakens as it comes down into the valley. So it is definitely not going to be an all-day rain on Saturday. There'll be some showers, and there could be 60% coverage, but it doesn't look like it's going to be here all weekend long unless this thing stalls out. Improvements on the way for Sunday. Forecast for your Friday, it's here already tomorrow, 52 to 74. There's that patchy fog in the morning. A stray late shower is not out of the question from Petros to Middlesboro over to Crossville, a little bit of a southwest breeze. There'll be maybe a few more clouds over the mountains tomorrow. You'll start in the upper 40s, but that spotty rain chance really waits till late in the day. Southwest breezes again. And here in the valley, I think the good part of Knoxville and vicinity in the Central Valley should be dry but warm. 73 today, 79 tomorrow with a southwest breeze, southwest breeze at 5. And there's that 15% chance for a shower. Better chance for rain on Saturday. Don't forget to come see us at Earth Fest on Saturday down at Pellissippi State Community College. Small chance for a shower on Sunday morning. And then Monday and Tuesday, cool nights. Look at that, near 40. Daytime highs only in the mid to upper 60s.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Matt. Well, mild weather is being credited for an increase in visits to the Smokies, setting an all-time record for the month of March. Officials report visits to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park were up by more than 21% from the same month last year. And so far this year, visits are up by nearly 20%. Despite a surge in visits late last year, 2011 was a down year for tourism to the park.
A popular family buffet failed its health inspection report this week, and 2 places had perfect scores. Here's Don Dare with tonight's Food for Thought.
A customer complaint prompted the health department to check out this family-style buffet in Powell, and when the inspector got there, lots of critical health violations were found. The place is the Golden Corral, 6612 Clinton Highway. The score is a 51. The health department considers a grade below 70 as unsanitary. The inspector discovered an infestation of fruit flies around the salad bar. The restaurant's pest control company was called to visit. Also at the salad bar, food was found out of temperature. Boiled eggs were at 59 degrees. They should have been at 41 and below to kill the growth of bacteria. The person operating the dishwasher didn't follow proper hygiene practices. He first touched dirty dishes, then cleaned dishes without washing his hands. The inspector also discovered several dirty wiping cloths being used to clean tables. There's more. In dry storage, the inspector found dented cans of food. Dents along a can seam could potentially break the seal and spoil the contents. 2 cans of food were thrown away. Finally, a chemical bottle was found unlabeled. A clearly marked label allows workers to know the contents, so there are no surprises. The inspector will return soon to re-inspect this Golden Corral. Down in the UT Strip, Nori Noodle and Sushi received a 69. It's at 1931 Cumberland Avenue. When the inspector checked the dishwasher, it didn't have any sanitizer in it, so the dishes wouldn't have been cleaned properly. Also, dishes were found stored in an employee hand sink, but that's where employees are supposed to wash their hands, not dishes. And when he looked into the microwave oven, it was dirty, extremely dirty, the inspector says. 2 weeks ago, we reported QQ Pizza in Halls and Maynardville Highway scored a 68. The place has been re-inspected. The new grade is a respectable 83. There are 2 perfect scores this week. The first is Outtakes Cafe on Clinch Avenue. It's a 100. Also, Thunder Road Grill. It too scored a 100. Close behind with a 99 is the Cedar Grove Deli and Market. It's in New Tazewell in Claiborne County on Highway 33 South. Back in Knoxville, the Allspice Cafe on Clinch is graded a 95. The Subway at Westtown Mall scored a 95. Also with a 95, Southern Style Barbecue and Catering out of Powell. Papa Murphy's on Middlebrook received a 94. Here's a 92 at Mooyah, 7301 Kingston Pike. What a contrast in scores this week. A 51 at Golden Corral to 6 grades, 95 and above. Don Dare covering Food for Thought.
All right, time now for sports, and we continue our coverage of the new transition for the Lady Vols basketball program.
6 Sports' Fallon Smith now joins us with more reaction, Fallon, from the team.
Hey, Lori, during the season, it seemed like there was a huge cloud over the Lady Vols basketball program. You could hear whispers throughout the arena of people concerned with Pat's limited coaching duties, and us media folks even wondering how they can go another year without Pat speaking in post-game press conferences. Needless to say, Holly Warlick was put in a tough situation this season. In today's press conference, you could tell it was a bittersweet moment when Pat turned over her whistle to longtime assistant and longtime friend Holly Warlick. As you all know, Warlick took over the majority of the coaching duties this season, and the players say Dave Hart made the right and wise decision.
She was put in a position that she had to take, and it was a position that she had to take to protect Pat and protect the program. And so she stepped up, not even knowing that she was going to have to last season. Now she stepped up, she's given the opportunity, and she's ready to go. So I'm really excited about it.
You know, if they went outside, you know, it'd be something of totally rebuilding the program, you know, trying to make major adjustments and making sure, you know, the fans are going to be thinking like, well, we don't know this person and things like that. But I think, you know, I'm glad that they stayed in the aura of Tennessee as far as picking Holly for the head coach.
Now, while Pat Summitt's coaching era ends, her son Tyler will begin his coaching career. Tyler Summitt accepting a job with Marquette's women's basketball program this week. And get this, he's skipping over the graduate assistant position and was offered an immediate assistant coaching title fresh out of college. And while many will say he's following in his mother's footsteps, he likes to believe he's creating his own legacy.
I think I need to go away just like my mom went away from her home. I think I need to go away, prove myself. If part of God's plan, I can come back one day, but that's all in his hands.
I'm happy for him. I think it's well deserved. He's going to work extremely hard. My 2 cents, I told him just try to get away from it. The great thing about him is his last name speaks volumes around the country, but he has a tremendous work ethic to back it up, and he has a great knowledge about the game.
It doesn't really happen like that. Normal people don't just leave and graduate at university and go straight into an assistant coaching job at a big school. That doesn't happen, but Tyler Summit is not normal, and neither is his mom. So it's just a great opportunity for him, and I'm so proud of him.
Now, Glory said throughout her time at UT, Tyler used to coach them up on the sidelines, and during practice, if they couldn't get to Pat, they would ask Tyler for advice. Now, that's going to do it for sports. We're going to be right back after a quick break.
New tonight on CW20 News at 10, from daily farmer's daughter to college basketball legend, Pat Summitt, of course, has come a long way. Tonight, we're hearing from those in her hometown in Middle Tennessee to find out what they think about the coach's decision.
And tonight on 6 News at 11, local lawmakers are pushing a bill that would make it easier and faster for 911 operators to use cell phone technology to track you down if you're lost or missing. See this story and so much more tonight on 6 News at 11.
That's our time. Remember, local news and weather information always available for you at WATE.com.
Thanks for making us your choice for news. We'll see you back tonight at 11.